We're doing this to help remind us to appreciate the things we have. They pay a paradise, put up a parking lot with a big hotel, a boutique, and a swinging high spot. Come on in. Don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. They pay a paradise and put up a parking lot. We took all the trees and put them in a tree museum. They charged all the people $1.50 just to see them. Don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. They pay paradise and they put up a parking lot. Hey, from a farmer, put away that DDT now. Give me spots on my apples, to leave me the birds and the bees. Please, please. Don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. They pay paradise and they put up a parking lot. Late last night, I heard the screen door slam, and a big yellow taxi took away my old man. Don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. They pay paradise and they put up a parking lot. Don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. They pay paradise and they put up a parking lot. They pay paradise and they put up a parking lot. They pay paradise, put up a parking lot.
So, now you're all educated. You know what April Fool's Day is and how it started. Now, the interesting thing about April Fool's Day is we can look at it from our perspective, right, through the windshield, looking back through the rearview mirror, seeing what happened yesterday. We can say, those fools, imagine celebrating New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, today. But today was New Year's Day. For hundreds, if not thousands of years, today was New Year's Day. Now we can think, wow, that's silly, that's foolish. Foolish. Everybody knows. Everybody knows New Year's Eve, New Year's Day is January 1st. Now let's look at these fools from a different perspective. Imagine if today the government said New Year's Day will no longer be January 1st. It'll be April 1st. That's what happened to those folks. They went around with tradition, going back hundreds and thousands of years that April 1st was the beginning of the new year. And the government said, no, we've decided to adopt this new calendar. Because of this new calendar, January 1st is now New Year's Day. Well, I can see some of the rebels in this room saying, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to celebrate New Year's Day on April 1st anymore, even though the government tells me to. It's been January 1st in my family for as many years as I've been alive, and it's going to continue to be. And by that definition, we would all be fools. So, when we look at some of the things like the word fool of April Fool, the difference between a fool and a non-fool, according to the tradition of the time, is someone who was informed making fun of someone who wasn't informed. That those who had adopted the new calendar day, watching people celebrate New Year's Eve, New Year's Day on April 1st, they pointed and laughed and said, oh, you poor uninformed person. It's been moved. It doesn't live there anymore. It now lives in January. I'm like, what? I said, well, what kind of fool are you? You don't know? leads us to our talk today about discernment. Discernment is knowing truth from untruth. It's knowing good from bad. It's knowing, biblically speaking, good from evil. Now with some of the big things, like, let's say good from evil, we got a pretty good internal discernment. We got a pretty good built-in gift from God BS-ometer that tells us whether something is good or evil. We can get that one figured out pretty quick. The next part is our moral compass. And this, just like the April Fool's Day, is a collective belief. Collectively, we believe that this is just or this is unjust. Now that may or may not be steeped in religion or in legal precedent. If we look only for one thing or another to adjust our internal compass, we can get way off. It can be within the realm of the law to do something bad. That doesn't mean we do it. Our internal compass says for us to maybe do something different. The challenge as we walk through life is that the word truth always changes. We spend our lives looking for truth with a capital T, this is solid, this is 100%. The challenge is that as we grow, our understandings grow, and therefore our truth grows. Case in point, when I take you all back to when you were second graders. Right? When you were second graders, what was the most important thing in your whole world in second grade?
Making it to third grade?
Whatever that thing was, maybe it was recess. Now let's fast forward to current time. When was the last time you went to recess? When's the last time you said, I got 20 minutes just to go play? Probably a while. Our priorities have shifted. And that's not necessarily a good thing. I think we should have more recess. But the point is that we all have different truths that we believed at one point. And they worked great for us during that one point. And that one point may have lasted years, even decades. And at some point, this truth that we used to believe so wholeheartedly in no longer answered all of our questions, no longer fit quite right. And we stepped out of one box, and we found a little wiggle room when we started to look around. Now the safety that comes from being inside this box is someone else gets to tell you what's right and wrong. Someone else gets to tell you what's good and bad. Someone else says, these are the rules that you should all live by. And if you do, you get some brownie points. And if you don't, then we got some Hail Marys to do, we got some stuff to get after and make things right. When we step out of that box and we step over into this box, and we say, I'm God's kid. God is love. My discernment is simply that. If what I do, think, or be is in love, for me, for God, for other people, animals, and things, then I know that I'm following my discernment. If it's outside of those things, maybe not. The challenge in life is that we were gifted these amazing minds that can rationalize and justify just about anything. Just about anything. And so the real fool, for me, when I look back on my life and the times that I've been a fool, wasn't the time that I didn't know the difference between what I should do or what I should not do. For me, my foolish times were when I knew and I did it anyway. See, nodding of heads. I'm not alone. This is the challenge, is when you know better and you do it anyway. Now, one person once said that good judgment comes from bad experience. And bad experience normally comes from a lack of good judgment. So it's kind of circular reasoning. But the point is that we were given optimum chances. Chance after chance after chance after chance. That's cool. That's cool. To me, that is the ultimate expression of love. Now, when I was back in this box here, And I love this box. Love this box. Man, I flourished and I sang and I connected with people and I loved it. But there was one little part that I couldn't quite wrap my mind around. There's one little part that said, God says you're his kids. We're all his kids. That box says so. Now, Mary's pregnant with our kids. And when I married her, we got 5 more kids. Now, I couldn't imagine looking at any one of our kids. We'll pick on Derek because today's his birthday. Derek, you need to go clean your room. And if you do, I'm going to take you to the mall, Toys R Us. I'm going to buy you everything you want. It's going to be paradise. But, Derek, if you don't clean your room right now, then we're going to go in the backyard, and I'm going to pour a little gasoline on you and light you up on fire. I couldn't imagine saying that as a parent. And therefore, I couldn't understand this version of God telling me that as his kid, that I had this one thing to do and I had this one time to do it. And if I did, it would be paradise. And if I didn't, he was going to make me grab the gas can and go out to the backyard. I couldn't wrap my mind around that. What I could wrap my mind around, would ask me to step out of that box, was a God that loved me enough to give me an infinity of choices, of chances to get it right. Just like with Derek, we say, all right, buddy, go clean your room. Yeah, I will. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. That's discernment. Knowing the right thing to do. Now, if he cleans his room, we go, great, buddy, good job. If he doesn't clean his room, what do we say? Derek, you gotta go clean your room, buddy. One more chance, let's go clean that room. Never does a can of gasoline enter into the equation. Nor do I believe it does for any of you, or any of your kids, or your version of God. The difference, though, is that when we're faced with choices, whatever those choices are that are in your life right now, maybe you've got a great big holy cow kind of choice that you've known has been coming for a while, or maybe you've just got little bitty walking through my life, do I go right or left kind of choices. We all know what the right thing for us to do is, in any situation. A mentor of mine once said that you have the answer to any question within 3 seconds, and you spend the next 45 seconds of your mind trying to justify that answer or change it. It's amazing that as this society, and I love this society, I love my country, but in this society we are programmed to lie. Makes no sense to me whatsoever. Mary and I were in the store the other day, looking for something specific, looking for post-it notes. Gentleman came up and said, "Can I help you?" I said, "Nope, just looking." I'm walking around going, what did I just do? And Mary's looking at me like, where's the post-it notes? I'm like, I don't know. We can walk around the store for the next half hour and that person could have directed us right to it. And what would have been so terrible with telling someone who was asking, can I help? Yes, I'm looking for post-it notes right here, sir. We're so programmed to lie that we don't even realize we're doing it until after we did it. Someone calls on the phone and says, we're collecting donations for the victims of hurricane this or of catastrophe that. Would you like to donate today? I don't even got to speak a word. I just saw the sentence run through all of your heads and what you say. What you say in that moment. I'm not alone. We can all light our candle at this meeting, right? We are good people. Our heart says, yes, I want to help. Yes, I want to donate. Yes, I want. But what I don't want is for you to tell me how much I can or can't. Or to be on your list that you're going to call me now every 20 minutes about the newest, latest, greatest thing, or this, or this, or this, or this. We don't say our truth, which is just, yes, can I donate anonymously? No, I'm not going to give you a credit card. I'm not going to give you my name or my phone number. In fact, I'm going to ask that you take me off, put me on your do not call list. Or if you give me an address where I can send some money, I would like to send cash. How much is between me and God? Give me that info, we'll make it happen. If you don't, we're done with this conversation. Bye-bye. For most of us, that's our truth. But we don't say our truth. Now, internally, our discernment tells us, yes, do this, do this. And our programming tells us, no, don't do that. Walking that line, finding that middle, that's what's key. Now the beautiful thing about life and about the way this whole thing is designed is that we're all connected. We're all connected. At different points, all of our little internal compass can get a little rusty. It can get a little stuck in one direction or another. And that's where we're all connected. Who here? Think of your best friend. Think of your child. Think of, yeah, your child's a good one. Tell me you don't know what they should do. If we could just put them on autopilot just for a week, their whole world would spin around, right? Nobody? I'm the only one. Okay. When our internal discernment meter gets a little rusty, when we're a little confused, because we all reach this point at some time in our lives that we say, I just don't know what to do. Ask those closest to you. We're all connected. Ask your best friend, ask your parent, ask your sibling, ask your child, ask your minister, ask your therapist, ask your dog if you want. Ask somebody. Ask 3, 4 people and see if you get the same answer. Because chances are you will. I'm not talking about giving away your power and asking someone who's got an agenda. I'm simply saying that if I don't know for sure A or B, A or B, A or B, because I knew at one point within 3 seconds it was A, and then my mind kicked in and said, maybe it's B, how about A? No, let's go back to B, but how's A again? I don't know, I'm a little lost. And now I've got this big decision to make, and this A-B thing to do, and I'm just lost. The first thing is if we just take the time to push pause on this busy thing we call life, clear our head for about 30 seconds, hit that reset button, it's like an Etch-a-Sketch, we just shake it, make it blank again, and say, okay guys, A or B. Chances are we'll have our answer, because our 3-second clock will be reset. If we second guess that little thing, we're all connected. And just as we know what other folks probably should do, because we've heard them talk about what they really want and where they really want to be, those who are closest to us, they know those things about us too. And sometimes just rethink A or B. Well, you've always told me A. Oh, good point. B's kind of looking, how about you, Mom? A or B? A? You thinking A too? Honey? A or B? A? All right, well, you know, it keeps telling me A. Inside I know A, but I'm afraid to take A because I know B. But my internal discernment tells me A. Those around me, those that I love and trust, tell me A. And when I really get quiet within myself, I feel that divine guidance telling me A also.
So obviously you'll choose B.
Well, I am your son. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So today on April Fool's Day, I count none of us as fools. When we look at the history of how April Fool's Day came along, I think that we'd probably be some of the rebels saying, you're not going to tell me when to do that New Year's Day, April, January, something. What would we be doing with it? We take away the judgment and instead turn it to discernment. Realize that we're not alone. We're all connected. We've got God in our corner. We take the time just to push pause on this busy thing called life and ask for the guidance. We will receive.
One thing though that really struck me is when we ask for discernment, that we need to remove our judgment that we've already had from our past, from our own perception, if we want a clear picture. That's one thing to think about. Sometimes it's easier to do while you're out for a walk instead of focusing so hard on the situation. Those are just a couple of tidbits. Have everybody close their eyes and relaxed in their chairs. And feel your mind go free. Your body, your mind, your spirit. Be cleansed with that white light of spirit coursing through you, coming from the top of your head all the way down to the bottom of your feet. Feeling that peace radiate from within. And with that, I want you to look within and see that little barometer within yourself that would represent your discernment. Is it rusty or is it well oiled? What would it look like if you were to see a picture of it? See what it looked like. So if it was like a little lever guiding your direction, guiding you through life. Feel as if Spirit came in and oiled it up, giving you more of a God-like perspective, making it shine, radiate throughout your body. For when you walk into situations, comments, information, that a clear picture will be given to you with this gift that you have within of discernment. Guiding you, giving you direction in your path. Knowing that as soon as it goes off, it will touch your heart, your mind, and your spirit, that you will know with certainty your direction, your truth for that moment. And I want you to imagine walking through life, coming across something that you need to test discernment with. Maybe something from your past, maybe something from your present, maybe something that's going to be in your future. But imagine coming across an experience that calls for discernment. And in that moment, I want you to feel your mind go clear, the judgment leave, and be able to see it from all perspectives, whatever this is, like looking all the way around it. And for a moment, even jumping inside of its energy to get a perspective of its own unique energy, something you've never seen before. There's truth in all things. What is this person or this situation or this thing? What is the perspective of it? How is it formed? And after looking at your side and their side and looking all the way around it, I want you to feel as if God's energy comes in and enlightens you, gives you information of the bigger picture. Bringing feelings, images, knowledge to your mind, to your heart. A whole new viewpoint that you never saw before. What is God's perspective? With the information, feel yourself make a decision. Where do you stand? What direction do you choose to go in? Is it from your heart, from your head? Is that a fear or is it a love? In that moment, feel the love radiate and your heart give direction, along with Spirit as your guide. And with that energy, feel your confidence and your strength grow in whatever that decision, choice, or truth that you decide to pick up on will be for you. Feel yourself walk with strength, with power in your choice, knowing that this is right for you in this moment. And feel the joy and the blessings that come with that. And all the outside influences just drifting away, everything that would be standing in your way if you were faced with opposition. Having no power. Because you've made your choice. You've got God on your side. You have your own inner strength emerging and flowing through you. Watch yourself in that moment. Talk with confidence. Act with confidence. And move forward with confidence. knowing that you're not alone. You have God on your side, and you have knowledge and direction. And with that, feel each decision that you make, each question that you come in contact with being made with a similar action, knowing that you're able to move forward in life much faster, with more confidence and direction. With that, I want you to imagine coming back, viewing that internal discernment guide again, empowering it even stronger. Feeling how it touches your heart, touches your mind, knowing that it's there with you at all times. Again, feeling God's Spirit, the light of Spirit coursing through your body, ready to guide you, ready to give you direction whenever you ask. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Throughout my life, I've learned a valuable lesson. If you come to Spirit with a question, wanting to know an answer, wanting to know information, if you've already made your decision, you've already judged it, they'll be on your side and give you information in alignment with your judgment that you've made already. If you're on the fence, like you have an open mind, you're wanting to see both sides and all the way around it, more information will be given. But in order to move through life, they can't make the decision for you. God cannot choose for you. Our gift in this life is free will. We have to choose. Once that choice is made, then we're empowered. Then we're guided. Then we're given more direction and how to make it happen. So, hope each of you use discernment wisely. Use it on